Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namane Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namane Namo Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthaya Namo Rupananda Paramahamsa Namine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Prajapine Nirvasesha Sunyavadi Paskacha Desatare Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Prajapine Nirvasesha Sunyavadi Paskacha Desatarine Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu the phone, I'll show you the piece of papers. Move them all down, I can't read from here. The second one. Haribo, Nitai-ko, Nitai-ko, Haribo, 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 Haribo, Nitai-ko. It's this one. Nitai-ko, Haribo, Haribo, Nitai-ko, 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 Nitai-ko, Haribo. It's got the G there. Nitai-ko, this one. Haribo, Haribo, Nitai-ko, Nitai-ko, Haribo, Haribo, Nitai-ko, Nitai-ko, Haribo, Haribo, Nitai-ko, Nitai-ko, Haribo, Nitai-ko, Nitai-ko, Haribo, Haribo, Nitai-ko, Nitai-ko, Haribo, Haribo,
Nityananda Paramahansa Parirajika Siddhar Sarishishima Jiga Guru Siddhasarupananda Srila Prabhupada Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parirajika Siddhar Satashishima His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Nitai Goswald Mission Ki Jai, Navadvita Dhamma Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna, Go Gopinath, Shamakund, Radhakund, Giri Govardhana Ki Jai, Vrindavan Ki Jai, Mathura Ki Jai, Mayapur Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Mamagina Timarandasya Ganagana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militanyena Tajmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Statpitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantekam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatham Vitam Tam Sajavam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jigapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavenbhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Siddhaswarupananda Paramahansa Niti Namine Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahansa Namine Gaura Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prastayate. For speaking, first I offer my respectful obeisances on the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Jagaguru Siddhasarupananda Srila Prabhupada, whose very dear Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet, Srila Prabhupada is Gaura Karuna Swarupaya, the mercy manifestation of Lord Chaitanya, and very dear to Radha and Krishna, Radha Krishna Prastayate. And offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are like wish-fulfilling trees, able to fulfill all the desires of the fallen living entities, and are full of compassion upon them. Namaste, Haribol, Krishna. Thanks for joining us. So the Sanskrit prayers that I recite are known as the Mangala Charana, or the auspicious invocation. Mangala is auspicious, so the auspicious invocation. And so even if we don't understand these mantras, or we don't know the translation, they're beneficial just to hear them, the sound vibration of the Sanskrit mantras. And of course, it's so much more beneficial if we understand them. So these mantras, or these invocation mantras, they're found at the beginning of the introduction to Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And these are various prayers offering obeisances unto my spiritual master who's opened my darkened eyes, to Srila Rupa Goswami, who is whose footsteps we are following in as we are Rupa Nugas, or followers of Srila Rupa Goswami, and the Vandeham prayers, and prayer to Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani, and then to all the Vaishnava devotees. So these are very nice prayers to learn and perhaps recite, and just to hear. So we're continuing with our Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita, the beautiful song of Sri Bhagavan. Bhaga meaning opulences, and Van meaning full of. So Sri Bhagavan, or Krishna, is speaking Śrīmad Bhagavatam, the beautiful song, or beautiful, opulent song, or Gita, of Sri Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we're in chapter 2 and text 39, and we studied text 39 last week, just some general introduction points, and then tonight we'll continue with pulling out pertinent points from the Gaudiya Vaishnava acharyas and commentators on the Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita. So what of course is always fascinating is, as we study Bhagavad Gita and these commentaries of the different acharyas, we can see that they each perhaps take differing points of view on what the meaning of the verse is. Their commentaries are very different. And of course we should always appreciate that, just as, when Lord Chaitanya spoke with Srila Sanatana Goswami, or initially it was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in Jagannath Puri, and then later with Srila Sanatana Goswami, he described the Atmarama verse, which is in Canto 1, Chapter 7 of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Atmaramascha munayo no grantha purukami kurvancha haitakim bhaktim itham bhuta gano hari. So this Atmarama verse, Lord Chaitanya explained it in numerous different ways. So many different ways he described the meaning of the word Atmarama. Atmarama means an Atma who is self-satisfied or experiencing pleasure, Rama. So, and he described so many different types of Atmaramas. And then even with the word cha, which means and, he described many different meanings to the word cha. And this is often the word cha is like a filler, because each quarter verse or pada needs to consist of 8 syllables. Each Sanskrit sloka, or at least in the sloka mita, which is 32 syllables per verse, each pada or quarter line has to consist of 8 syllables. And so, of course, sometimes it's quite difficult to convey to meet this rule of 8 syllables per line. So the word cha, which means and, is often used more or less as a filler. It's not actually needed, but it's oftentimes just put there to get ourselves to, or get the sloka to 8 syllables per line. But anyway, when Lord Chaitanya was explaining the meaning of the Atmarama verse, he put great meaning upon the word cha, and how it had different meanings. So anyway, so the point I'm making is that sometimes we may feel that a particular verse can only be understood in a particular way, or it means this or that, and then we may hear someone else speak on it, or we may hear someone else's commentary upon it, and it might be quite very different from what we thought the verse meant, or the purport may be quite different, or commentary may be quite different from Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's commentary. And this may cause us to become temporarily confused, or somehow wonder who's right or who's wrong. And so we should always understand that there can be many points of view upon the same verse, or different salient points being drawn out of it. And it's not that one is necessarily right or wrong. Of course, this doesn't apply to impersonalist commentators who don't translate or comment upon Bhagavad Gita as it is, but they comment upon it from a Mayavadi or impersonalist point of view. So of course Mayavadi's commentary can't be accepted. Although actually even even with that, sometimes our acharyas refer to a commentary by a follower of Sāṅkhya Acharya. But anyway, generally speaking, we don't accept the commentary or the viewpoint of the impersonalists. And Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada used to get, was strongly annoyed by the commentary of, I think it was of Ramakrishna, who was commenting on chapter 9, text 34, and where Krishna says, "Just think of me, become my lover," and he's commenting that this doesn't mean actually Krishna, but it means the impersonal Brahman. And so Bhaktivedanta Swami often would speak about this, and how great, greatly opposed to this impersonalist interpretation of Bhagavad Gita. But anyway, so my point is that we can find, as we study different Bhagavad Gita verses, that there can be different meanings drawn out from it. And this particular verse, chapter 2, text 39, this is the case where most of the Vaishnava acharyas are taking this verse to refer to nishkama kama yoga, or kama yoga without fruitive desires. And this is how most of the acharyas took it, and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur take it very much as Krishna speaking about bhakti yoga. So that's an example of different emphasis. But so anyway, the verse, chapter 2, text 39, Esha te abhita sāṅkhya buddhiri yoge tvemam shrinu bujya yukto yaya Pṛthā kama bandham prahashyase. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study, or sāṅkhya. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. So the working without fruitive results, this is yoga, in work without fruitive results. So this is very much the nature of the word yoga. It means working in a selfless way. O son of Pṛthā, when you act in such knowledge, or buddhi, intelligence, you can free yourself from the bondage of work. Kama bandham prahashyase. So kama bandham, the bondage of reaction. And we spoke about this a lot last week, this bondage of reaction, or samsara, the wheel of birth and death. And prahashyase, you can be released from it. So, son of Pṛthā, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. So, in Srila Baladeva Vibhusana's commentary, he says, having concluded his instructions on Jnana Yoga, the Lord now begins to speak about Nishkama Kama Yoga, the process for attaining Jnana Yoga. So Nishkama Kama Yoga. So Kama, K-A-M-A, Kama means desire or lust. So Nishkama means without desire or lust. Kama meaning action, and yoga being attaining union with the Supreme or linking up with the Supreme. So Nishkama Kama Yoga means engaging in Kama Yoga, but without desire for the fruits of our activities. From every action there's some fruit coming from it. But in Kama Yoga, the Kama Yogi, he doesn't have desire for the fruit. He performs his activities as a matter of duty. It's the right thing that should be done. This is Krishna's system. I probably talked about this for a long time last week. Krishna's system of Varnashram Dharma. This is my duty, my obligation, my responsibility to perform this. Whether it comes out right or not, I will perform it because this is Krishna's arrangement. So there's no bhakti at that point. There is no love for Krishna. There's more a feeling of obligation or responsibility or sense of to do the right thing, but bhakti is not yet present in its full manifestation of love for Krishna, where the devotee of Krishna, the Vaishnava, does things for Krishna just out of pure love. Certainly there's no expectation of return, just as the Kama yogi is doing. They're performing duty, their work, without attachment to the fruit, so without expectation of the results, not feeling attachment to the fruit. So similarly, the Bhakti Yoga also does the same thing. They perform their duties and responsibilities or engages in activities without attachment to the fruit. But the devotee is motivated out of love for Krishna, out of bhakti. So Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, engaging in activities and service out of pure love for Krishna, just doing it to please Krishna. What can I do to please you? And whereas the person engaged in Nishkama Kama Yoga they're doing it without attachment to the fruit, but it's not done out of love for Krishna. The love is not there at this point. So in that sense, Nishkama Kama Yoga, it's like a continuum. So you can be doing the same thing, but you're not doing it with love for Krishna. And then as your bhakti develops, as your love for Krishna develops, and it develops as a result of engaging in Nishkama Kama Yoga. Like it's a process, engaging in Nishkama Kama Yoga, performing duty without attachment to the results because it should be done, because this is what Krishna wants me to do, according to his rules and regulations of Varnashram Dharma. Then this is purifying. As some of the acharyas say, this is knowledge. It's like knowledge in action. And so engaging in this activities without expectation of result or desire for the fruit, this is purifying, and it brings one to the point of jnana, knowledge, and then so knowledge mixed with action then gives birth to bhakti, love. So love for Krishna begins to awaken in our hearts. And so in that sense, of course, Karma Yoga is included within Bhakti Yoga. So this term, Buddhi Yoga, Buddhi meaning intelligence, and Yoga, Krishna uses this Buddhi Yoga 3 times in Bhagavad Gita. And so Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is using the later usages of Buddhi Yoga to describe what it is, what Krishna's meaning is in this chapter 2, text 39. So in chapter 2, text 39, we have to appreciate Krishna hasn't said anything about that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that Arjuna should just surrender unto him, that Arjuna should just love him, just think about him, but this all comes later in Bhagavad Gita, in this wonderful conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. So at this point, Krishna has just described Sāṅkhya, as Krishna is saying here. He says, thus far I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. So Esha te abhita sāṅkhya. So Esha, all this, te unto you, abhita, described, sāṅkhya, an analytical study. So up to this point, I've been speaking to you. I've described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Right? So Krishna is referring to, beginning in text 11 of this chapter through text 30, Krishna has described this difference of the distinction between the Atma and the body. So Atma Gyan, giving Arjuna this knowledge. And then, now Krishna says, now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results, which is the Nishkama Karma Yoga. And, so Krishna has not yet said, just love me, or he's not described himself as being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's not described devotional service. So none of this has yet been said. So so here Buddhi Yoga, is Buddhi, intelligence, yoga, and work without fruitive result. But in chapter 10, text 10, and this verse is one of what's known as the Chaitya Shloki, the 4 seed verses of Bhagavad Gita. And I gave a class on this in Healing Chant 108 quite a while ago. But anyway, there's the 4 seed verses, and which is a play upon the Chaitya Shloki in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the original conversation between Lord Krishna and Lord Brahma at the beginning of the universe. And Krishna spoke 4 verses from which the Srimad Bhagavatam has expanded from. So similarly, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur made this analogy of these 4 verses in chapter 10, which Chaitya is 4 and Shloki is verses. So he described these 4 verses as being the Chaitya Shloki of Bhagavad Gita. So anyway, chapter 10, text 10, Tesham sadhata yuktanam bhajatam pridipurvakam dharami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So, buddhi yoga. So to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, or serving and worshipping me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So those who are engaged in this process of buddhi yoga, bhajatam means to worship, Pṛthā is an equivalent of prema or love. So bhajatam Pṛthā purvakam. So those who are constantly devoted to worshipping me or serving me with love. So Dharami buddhi yogam tam. I give the understanding. So this buddhi yoga, I give them the intelligence by which they can come to me. So in this verse, and in these 4 verses, Krishna is of the Chaitya Sloki. Krishna is describing to Arjuna his love for Arjuna and his love for the devotees. And here Krishna is saying, I give that to those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. So Krishna helps us. Krishna, out of his love for us, gives us the guidance and the intelligence by which we can come closer to him. This is Krishna's purpose, right? This material world. Krishna is Patita Pavana, the savior of the fallen souls. Right? So here we are, lost in this material world. And one of Krishna's pastimes is to save the fallen souls. And so Krishna is helping us. Right? He's speaking Bhagavad Gita. He's encouraging us. He appears in this material world, spiritual world with him. His pastimes for us to chant. When he left behind the Śrīmad Bhagavatam and the Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita. And he sends his representative, so our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And Krishna is within our heart as Paramatma, Lord Paramatma. So Krishna enlightens those who are constantly devoted, engaged in devotional service to him. And he gives us the understanding by which we can come to him. So that's the mood of Buddhi Yoga in chapter 10, text 10. And then also in chapter 18, text 57. Krishna says, Shetasha Savakamani Mai Sannyasa Matparaha Buddhi Yoga Mupashritya Makshita Satatam Bhava. So again, this Buddhi Yoga. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So here in this verse, Buddhi Yoga is taken to mean just in devotional service. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So this Buddhi Yoga, it's devotional service. So this is in these 2 verses, chapter 10, text 10, and chapter 18, text 57, Krishna's meaning of Buddhi Yoga is quite different from the way it's said here in chapter 2, text 39. Of course, by chapter 10, text 10, and certainly by chapter 18, text 57, Krishna has made very clear what is the purpose and point of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has made very clear that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that he wants us to just think of him and love him, to offer our homage unto him, to bow down before Him, to offer all our activities to Him, all that we eat and all that we do. Just offer it to Him and offer Him with love, a fruit, a flower, water, and that He will accept it. He'll accept the love with which it's offered with. So Buddha Yoga takes on this much richer meaning and context later on in Bhagavad Gita. And so this is the way that Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada takes Buddha Yoga in this verse, chapter 2, text 39. So, Srila Baladeva Vijayabhusana says, so if that knowledge, the knowledge of sāṅkhya or atma-gyan, understanding that your spiritual essence and how to work in harmony with that knowledge. So if that knowledge does not arise because of impurities in your heart, then hear about the knowledge necessary to execute karma yoga, which will now be spoken, and which includes within it atma-gyan. So of course this is, our situation, right? So we can read these verses from text 11 to text 30, where Krishna speaks on sāṅkhya, atma-gyan, knowledge of the soul. But if that knowledge doesn't, the knowledge and the wisdom on how to act upon that knowledge, if that doesn't arise within our heart, because of impurities in our heart, because our heart is, covered with all the dust accumulated over millions and millions of lifetimes. And, so we can hear spiritual knowledge or atma-gyan and just wow, what do I do with that? We don't know how to act upon it. We're unable to realize it. So if that is our case because of the impurities in our heart, then Krishna is then giving us, then hear about the knowledge necessary to execute karma yoga. So there's a yoga ladder, right? And the highest platform, the highest step on the ladder, the top rung is prema bhakti, pure love for Krishna. Pure love for Krishna, one of the 5 rasas or flavors or tastes of pure devotional service. Santa rasa, neutrality, dasya rasa, servanthood, sakhya rasa, friendship, vatsala rasa, parenthood, and madhurya rasa, the love of a consort or a lover for Krishna, romantic love. So this is the topmost rung on the ladder. And then just below that is sadhana bhakti, engaging in the process of bhakti yoga, but not yet actually having pure love for Krishna. And then there's so many different steps: jnana yoga, stanga yoga, raja yoga, and then kama yoga is dhyana yoga, meditation yoga. So kama yoga and kama yoga. So these are different steps on the yoga ladder. And so in that sense, they're all really non-different, because they're all steps on the ladder going up to the highest platform. And as we discussed last week, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami in one of his commentaries said, well, if one gets sort of stuck at a particular point at the Kama Yoga, well then they're described as a Kama Yoga, right? Or if they're stuck at Jnana, then they're a Jnana Yogi. Right? But these are all different steps or progressions to pure devotional service. Pure devotional service to Krishna. This is the end goal. And so we can either go the long roundabout way, go through the process of Ashtanga yoga lifetime after lifetime, or be a jnana yogi, speculating and for lifetime after lifetime. Or we can just take to pure devotional service. So this is the unique and special opportunity that we have, being in the contact with and the association of our Srila Prabhupada, giving us the opportunity to engage in sadhana bhakti and devotional service, and to hear, right? Hearing, shraddha, shravana. Hearing is the beginning, and this is the most important step. So hearing, shravana, from the pure devotee of Krishna, which purifies our heart. And so this allows us to make rapid progress. We don't need to be stuck as a karma yogi for, who knows how many lifetimes, and then gradually become elevated to realize Atma-gyan and have jnana yoga. Or we don't need to take to the process of Ashtanga yoga and try and meditate like Krishna describes in chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, or as Patanjali describes in his Yoga Sutras. We don't need to go through all this. It's not necessary. We can just bypass it all. So the Bhakti Yoga is the conclusion of the Vedas. All the Vedic literatures point towards Bhakti Yoga as being the ultimate yoga process. And the goal of Bhakti Yoga, pure love for Krishna, this is the goal of all the Vedic literatures, all the massive number of literatures that Srila Vyasadeva compiled and edited. The whole conclusion of it is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you should just love him. Love him in the mood of the residents of Vrindavan Dham. So this is the whole conclusion of it all. And so when Srila Vyasadeva was, after he'd compiled all the Vedic literatures, he was feeling dissatisfied within himself. And his spiritual master, Narada Muni, appeared and explained to him that even though you've written all this wonderful literatures, compiled it all and edited it all and broke it down into different ways so people can understand it, and you've divided the 4 Vedas, and you've composed all the Upanishads, and you've written the Itihasa, the Mahabharata, the history of the greater India, the struggle between the Pandavas and the Kurus, which even contains within it Bhagavad Gita, that nonetheless you've failed to make it clear that the key point and conclusion of it all is to just love Krishna. There's a chant where Krishna, Srila Prabhupada says, just love Krishna. A wonderful kirtan. But this is the conclusion of it all. And you've written so much, and you've described so much about, like in the Vedas themselves, the Karmakanda sections of the Vedic literatures, it's all about how to get elevated to the heavenly planets. How to go to the planets of the Pittas or the ancestors, how to get to Satya Loka, the heavenly planets, or how to get good children, or how to get a good wife or husband, and so it's like, people will just do that. There's what Narada Muni is describing to Srila Vyasadeva. People will just do that, because you've failed to make it clear what the whole purpose and point of it all is. So anyway, so then Srila Vyasadeva compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, which makes very clear that devotional service is the highest yoga, or the highest process to engage in. You know, that pure love for Krishna is the aim and is the process and the aim and the goal of life. Right? There's the sadhana, which is the practice, and the sadhya is the goal. So practicing devotional service is the process for achieving the goal, or the sadhya, the goal of life. And it's not, and devotional service is such that even though one achieves the goal, one continues to engage in the process. Because when one achieves pure love for Krishna, then one continues to hear about Krishna, chant about Krishna, speak about Krishna, worship Krishna. Right? It all continues. So there's no difference between the process and the goal itself. Whereas in other types of yoga, when one achieves, they only take place in this material world. Bhakti yoga, that's the activity of the spiritual world, of the spiritual planets of Goloka Vrindavan. One engages in bhakti yoga with Krishna, and the activities of hearing and chanting and rendering service, serving the lotus feet, and so on, the 9 different processes of devotional service is enunciated by Pṛthā Maharaj in Canto 7, Chapter 5, Text 23. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasham Sāṅkhya Matma Nividenam. So Shravanam, hearing, Kirtanan, chanting, speaking about Krishna, Vishnu Smaranam, so Smaranam, remembering, so remembering about Vishnu, so hearing, chanting about and remembering Vishnu or Krishna. Padasevanam, serving the lotus feet. Archanam, engaging in the process of deity worship or worshipping Krishna. Vandanam, offering nice prayers. Sāṅkhyam, making friendship with the Lord, seeing Krishna as my best friend. And Atma Nivedenam, completely surrendering myself to Krishna. So these are the 9 processes of devotional service outlined by Prahlāda Maharaj. When Hiranyakashipu says, what's the most important thing? What's the best thing you've learned from your teachers? And Prahlāda Maharaj very sweetly recites this verse. And Hiranyakashipu becomes, of course, very angry at this. So, Baladeva Vijayabhusana says, then hear about the knowledge necessary to execute Karma Yoga, which will now be spoken. So the next few chapters, Krishna basically speaks about Karma Yoga, and which includes within it Atmagyan. So it includes within it knowledge of the soul. Because it's based upon this. Like how can one be not attached to the fruits of one's activities? Right? Because everybody is a fruitive worker. We're all fruitive workers. Right? This material world. Why does anyone do anything? Because it's for my benefit. Who acts selflessly? Only the yogi does. And in fact, only the pure devotee of Krishna acts selflessly with no self-interest, acting for the pleasure of Krishna. But, so how can it be that one can act selflessly? It's only when one actually has Atmagyan, or knowledge of the self, understanding that I'm not this body, that no matter what fruit I collect, it won't actually satisfy me. Right? So there has to be this realization or knowledge of who I actually am. So this Nishkama Kama Yoga is then praised in the last line. So this is Kama Bandham Prahashyase becoming, if you engage in this process of Buddha Yoga or Nishkama Kama Yoga, then you will be freed from or liberated from karma bandhanam, so being bound by your karma. So you'll be freed from samsara, this wheel of birth and death. So by performing these actions with this understanding, you'll be freed from the bondage created by action. Executing these actions with great energy, with a desire for the bliss of Atma, and by the order of the Lord, you will cross over samsara by being fixed in Atma-gyan, which will later appear within you. So as a result of Nishkama Kama Yoga. So by engaging in this Nishkama Kama Yoga, acting without attachment to the results, you will cross over samsara or karma bandhana by being fixed in Atma-gyan, which will later appear within you as a result of performing these actions. So by acting in this way of non-attachment to the results, will actually make Atma-gyan arise within you. This Nishkama Kama Yoga gains its power to liberate by being directed towards Atma and the Lord. So directed towards our spiritual well-being and directed towards Krishna. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he describes that sāṅkhya means a perfect process of knowing. And then he says, speaking as Krishna would be speaking, now hear about the intelligence necessary to implement bhakti yoga, which will now be explained. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti takes this Buddha yoga to be bhakti yoga. Endowed with this understanding concerning the subject of bhakti yoga, you will give up samsara, kama bandham, or the being bound to this world. So understanding bhakti yoga, you will give up samsara, the wheel of birth and death. Srila Sridhara Swami, his comment is, Kama Yoga, which is the science of individual consciousness attaining communion with the ultimate consciousness, is now being introduced. So up to this point, Krishna hasn't discussed yoga at all. And this is an interesting definition of yoga, the science of the individual consciousness, so the Atma, attaining communion with the ultimate consciousness, so the Supreme Brahman, the Para Brahman, Krishna, is now being introduced. So previously, this idea in Bhagavad Gita hasn't been raised at all. If in spite of all these unequivocal instructions regarding the nature of the eternal soul, one is still unable to realize it, then one should with determination seek to realize the eternal soul by the science of the individual consciousness attaining communion with the ultimate consciousness through actions without any hankering for fruitive results. So of course this is yoga. This is the Nishkama Kama Yoga. So if we're unable to realize the nature of the eternal soul, then one should with determination seek to realize the eternal soul by the science of the individual consciousness, the individual living being, the spirit soul, attaining communion with the ultimate consciousness, with Krishna, through actions without any hankering for fruitive rewards. This will allow a living entity to attain purity of mind and spiritual intelligence. By the manifestation of spiritual intelligence, one will understand how to surrender all actions in righteousness to the Supreme Lord. The cessation of seeking and yearning for fruitive results effectively neutralizes any fruitive reactions before they even materialize. So this is a key point, understanding how this non-attachment, or without desire for the fruits, how this actually neutralizes karma. And the cessation of seeking and yearning for fruitive results effectively neutralizes any fruitive reactions before they even materialize. Since it is one's own fruitive desires that causes fruitive actions and subsequent reactions. So it's the desires that cause, because we desire fruit, well then naturally we engage in fruitive activity, and then this creates subsequent reactions. By renouncing the desire for any fruitive results and performing actions as a matter of duty, a living entity is automatically freed from any fruitive reactions. So hence the importance of performing one's duty. So, or one's dharma, one's swadharma, one's own duty. So just by just performing one's duty in a mood of detachment, this is actually frees one from karma. So what to speak of engaging in activities out of pure love for Krishna. So we'll leave it here for tonight. I didn't actually, naturally of course here I didn't cover all the different points of all the different acharyas, but perhaps we'll move on. I'll decide later this week whether we'll continue on with text 39 or whether we'll move on to text 40 and further explore this wonderful conversation or samvada between Krishna and Arjuna. Krishna says in chapter 18, text 70, Ajas yati chaya imam damyam samvada mavayaho jnana yagnena tenaham ishtasya miti me matihi. So one who studies this conversation, this samvada of ours about Dharma, one who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. So this studying Bhagavad Gita and considering Krishna's meanings and purport, and just studying this wonderful conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, we are worshipping Krishna by our intelligence. So thank you very much. We shall continue next week. Thank you. Haribol, Krishna. So we'll have another short kirtan. Have to wait for the boss.
Haribol. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Nice to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Hare Krishna.